Don't wait to live the life. You wanted Steve Jobs, the visionary behind Apple, left us with a legacy not only of groundbreaking technology, but also profound insights into life and work. Many of his thoughts are centered around living life with purpose and urgency, doing things before it's too late. If there's one thing Jobs taught us, it's that life is too short to waste and the time to make the most of it is now. In his speeches and interviews, Jobs shared several principles that resonate with this theme. Let's explore some of these pieces of advice and how they can guide us to live fuller lives. Follow your passion and don't settle for anything less. Steve Jobs often emphasized the importance of doing what you love, and he once said, your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. Many people settle for jobs that are practical or financially rewarding, but fail to fulfill them emotionally or spiritually. Jobs believed that if you don't follow your passion, you may look back on life with regret. But following your heart doesn't just mean chasing something that feels good, it also means taking risks and persevering when things get tough. Jobs also advised that time is precious. He reflected on the fact that we're all just bubbles on a stream. He recognized that the clock is always ticking and the opportunity to pursue the life you want won't last forever. If you're waiting for the right time or a perfect moment to act, you might find yourself waiting forever. The best time to start doing what you love is now. Take risks early. In his famous Stanford commencement address, Jobs spoke about how being fired from Apple, the company he co-founded, was one of the best things that ever happened to him. Like this setback pushed him to take risks in a way he wouldn't have otherwise. If you're young or even in the middle of your career, you might be hesitant to take bold steps because of the fear of failure. Yet Jobs' life is proof that risks are often the catalyst for innovation and personal growth. You don't have to know exactly what's next, but if you let fear of failure hold you back, you'll miss out on opportunities to explore new possibilities. Taking risks doesn't mean acting recklessly, but it does mean stepping out of your comfort zone. Jobs' own story is one of trial and error, but each step built upon the last. He was always looking for the next big challenge, whether it was creating the Macintosh, revolutionizing mobile phones with the iPhone, or even venturing into the world of animation with Pixar. Taking risks is not just about success, it's about learning and growing. Without failure, you won't find your true path. Don't wait for a safe, guaranteed opportunity to come along. Create one for yourself by being bold and making decisions that may seem scary but are aligned with your passion. Don't wait for perfection. Jobs was never one to shy away from perfectionism, but he also recognized the importance of moving forward even when things weren't perfect. In his mind, perfection is a moving target, and the fear of failing to achieve it can paralyze you. He said, the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Jobs understood that the pursuit of perfection can be counterproductive. He didn't aim for flawless execution in every single moment. He aimed for progress, for moving towards a future that could make a difference. When you spend too much time trying to make everything perfect, you delay action. Life waits for no one. If you're waiting for everything to fall into place, you might find yourself stuck in a cycle of inaction. Instead of perfecting every small detail, focus on moving forward, learning along the way, and improving as you go. The most successful people are not the ones who have done everything flawlessly. They are the ones who kept trying, learning from mistakes, and never stopped pushing. Time is your most valuable asset. Jobs was acutely aware of how fleeting life is, especially in his later years. After being diagnosed with cancer, he began reflecting on the true meaning of time. In his 2005 commencement speech at Stanford, he encouraged graduates to live their lives fully. Your time is limited, so don't waste it. Live in someone else's life. Time once lost is gone forever. How we spend it is one of the most important decisions we can make. Many people waste their time trying to live up to other people's expectations, seeking approval, or following paths that aren't true to themselves. Jobs was a prime example of someone who did not follow the conventional path. He took a different route, one that wasn't defined by traditional markers of success, and yet in doing so, he created a revolutionary impact on the world. If you're stuck in a job or a life situation that doesn't bring you joy, it's crucial to ask yourself, how much longer can I afford to stay in this position? Time is running out for everyone. That doesn't mean you need to make drastic changes overnight, but it does mean you need to start thinking more seriously about how you're using your time and what you want your legacy to be. In Steve Jobs' life, time was sacred. Whether it was his relentless focus on innovation or his commitment to his vision, he understood that every minute mattered. Don't wait for a crisis to make you realize how precious time is. Begin making decisions today that align with your passion, your purpose, and your long term happiness. The power of simplicity and focus. Steve Jobs was a master of simplicity and focus. In the midst of a world filled with distractions, he believed in narrowing down what truly matters. This ability to simplify complex problems and focus on the essentials was one of the key reasons for his success. He didn't waste time on things that didn't matter, and he encouraged others to do the same. As he once said, the most important thing is to say no to the 100 other good ideas that there are. You have to pick carefully. Master the art of saying no. Jobs wasn't just talking about saying no to distractions. He was referring to the importance of focusing on a singular vision. In both his personal and professional life, Jobs had a laser focus on what he cared about most. In fact, one of the first lessons he learned when he returned to Apple was the importance of eliminating excess. Apple's product lineup was too cluttered, and Jobs decided to eliminate all but a few products, focusing on the core offerings. This focus made all the difference, allowing Apple to innovate on a grand scale. In life, we're constantly bombarded by opportunities and demands on our time. Jobs knew that saying yes to everything spreads you thin and dilutes your energy. Saying no means you're not distracted by everything else. By eliminating the unnecessary, you give yourself the space to focus on what truly matters. Whether it's a personal goal or a business endeavor, the ability to say no is one of the most powerful tools for success. Focus on excellence and not perfection. Steve Jobs didn't focus on achieving perfection, he focused on achieving excellence. There's a key difference between the two. Perfection can be paralyzing. It's often an impossible standard that never really satisfies. Excellence, on the other hand, is about doing the best you can with the resources available to you, continuously striving for improvement without letting fear of imperfection stop you. Jobs always demanded excellence from himself and his team, but he knew that it wasn't about flawless execution. It was about creating products that change people's lives. Take this mindset with you in all your endeavors. Perfectionism often prevents people from getting started, while a focus on excellence gives you the freedom to try, fail, and improve. If you're aiming for perfection, you may never launch your project, write your book, or start that business. Instead, aim for excellence in everything you do. Allow yourself the grace to make mistakes, but strive for continuous improvement. Build meaningful relationships. Jobs also valued the importance of relationships, both in work and in life. He surrounded himself with people who challenged him and believed in his vision. It's easy to become isolated when you're pursuing big goals, but Jobs recognized that meaningful connections were critical to his success. Whether it was his early partnership with Steve Wozniak at Apple, his relationship with the Pixar team, or his friendship with people like Jony Ive, Jobs knew that collaboration was key to achieving great things. And in life, who you surround yourself with can make all the difference. Find people who inspire you, challenge you, and support your dreams. It's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of success, but true fulfillment comes from the relationships you build along the way. Take time to invest in your relationships and don't let the pursuit of success cause you to neglect the people who matter most. Learn from the past, but don't live in it. Jobs often said that he had no interest in looking back or dwelling on the past. He understood that every experience, good or bad, was a stepping stone toward where he was meant to be. Yet he also believed it was important to learn from the past to understand how every moment, every failure had shaped his thinking and actions. Learn from mistakes, but don't dwell on them. One of the most important aspects of Jobs' philosophy was that failure is not something to be feared, it's something to learn from. Throughout his career, he faced countless setbacks, from being fired from Apple to the struggles he faced in bringing the first Macintosh to market. But instead of allowing failure to define him, he used it as an opportunity for growth. If you've made mistakes, don't let them hold you back. Learn from them, but don't allow them to dictate your future. Dwelling on past failures can prevent you from moving forward. In Jobs' view, that was the true tragedy. We can only grow when we let go of our past and use it as a stepping stone to a brighter future. Live authentically. Like, be true to yourself. Steve Jobs was known for his authenticity and willingness to stand by his beliefs, even when those beliefs clashed with the norms of the time. From his early days at Apple to his later ventures with Pixar and Next, he always prioritized authenticity over conformity. In fact, one of his most iconic sayings was, "Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work." and the only way to do great work is to love what you do. But that love for his work wasn't just about being passionate, it was about following his own inner compass and refusing to let external pressures dictate his choices. Stay true to your vision. Jobs had an uncanny ability to see the future when others could not. He didn't rely on market trends, the latest fads, or public opinion. Instead, he listened to his inner voice and trusted his instincts, even when it was difficult. His famous introduction of the iPhone, for instance, was initially met with skepticism. Many industry experts didn't believe a device combining a phone, an iPod, and an internet communicator could succeed. Jobs had a vision for the future of mobile technology that no one else could see. He trusted in that vision and committed himself to making it a reality. The lesson here is simple. Don't let the opinions of others sway you from your own beliefs. So if you have a vision for your life or work, stay true to it, even if it goes against the grain. There will always be naysayers, but it's important to remember that your uniqueness is your strength. Being true to yourself often means walking a path that others are unwilling to tread, but in doing so, you open doors to innovation, progress, and personal fulfillment. Trust yourself. Even when others don't, Jobs also believed that trusting your intuition is one of the most powerful tools you have. In a famous interview, he explained, you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. It's easy to look at life as a series of logical steps and feel like you need to have everything figured out in advance. However, Jobs argued that often the path ahead only becomes clear once you've taken the first steps. So trust yourself, even if you don't have all the answers. When we feel uncertain, we tend to seek approval or direction from others. But Jobs' success was driven by his ability to trust in his own instincts, even when others doubted him. He often said that people who follow their inner voice create the most innovative and meaningful work. This doesn't mean ignoring advice or learning from mistakes, but rather being secure in the idea that in the end, the choices you make are yours. Trust that your experiences and intuition will guide you towards the right decisions. Create meaningful impact. Make a difference right before it's too late. Jobs didn't just want to make money or build a successful company, he wanted to change the world. This drive for impact was at the core of his philosophy. He often spoke about creating products that were not just functional, but that would make a meaningful difference in people's lives. Jobs felt strongly that innovation wasn't just about creating something new, it was about changing the world for the better. Focus on the legacy you want to leave behind. One of Jobs' most profound insights was understanding the importance of legacy. In his famous Stanford commencement address, Jobs urged the graduates to remember that they would eventually die. This might seem like a morbid thought, but it was a reminder that life is finite and we should never waste it on things that don't matter. He said, remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. You're already naked. There is no reason not to follow your heart. When you truly internalize the fact that time is limited, it changes how you view your purpose. Jobs' own legacy is proof that meaningful impact is not about the accumulation of wealth or fame, but about the changes you make in the lives of others. By focusing on creating products that brought new possibilities into the world, he built a legacy that continues to influence millions of people. You don't have to be a tech mogul to make a difference, whether it's through your work, relationships, or small acts of kindness. Creating a legacy of impact is within everyone's reach. Ask yourself, what do you want your legacy to be? What impact do you want to have? This question is not meant to pressure you, but to remind you that the choices you make today will shape your legacy tomorrow. Focus on what truly matters to you, whether that's your family, your work, or your community, and begin making decisions today that will lead to a lasting, meaningful impact. Don't let fear hold you back from making a difference. Many of us have ideas and dreams that could potentially change the world, but we hold back because we fear failure or rejection. Jobs was never immune to this fear, but he was able to push past it in order to make a difference. He often spoke about his experience with Pixar, which struggled for years before becoming the powerhouse it is today. But instead of giving up when things seemed hopeless, Jobs poured his energy into creating something that would eventually change the animation industry. Making a difference requires courage, the courage to step into the unknown, to take risks, and to act in the face of fear. But the rewards are worth it. Jobs said to the ones who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Change rarely happens in the safety of your comfort zone. It happens when you push past your fears and go after what you believe is possible, even when it seems difficult or improbable. If you have a dream to make a difference, don't wait for the perfect time or the perfect circumstances. You start now and take small steps toward that larger goal. Be present in the moment. One of the things that many people struggle with is the tendency to live in the future or in the past rather than fully embracing the present moment. Steve Jobs was keenly aware of the importance of the present. He said, don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. This quote reflects his belief in staying grounded in the moment and following your own path, regardless of what the world around you thinks. Practice mindfulness. In the fast paced world of technology and innovation, it's easy to become caught up in the whirlwind of planning, striving, and seeking. But Jobs knew that there's power in stillness and mindfulness. He regularly took time to step back from the hustle and bustle to focus on what truly mattered to him. Whether it was reflecting on his work or spending time in nature, he understood the importance of pausing to reconnect with himself. In your own life, take moments to slow down, breathe, and simply be present. It's easy to get caught up in worrying about what's next or regretting the past. But life happens in the present, and it's the only moment you truly have. By practicing mindfulness, you can appreciate the beauty in the small moments and make more intentional decisions about how you want to live. Jobs taught us that living authentically, taking risks, and following our passions can lead to extraordinary achievements. But it's equally important to be present in the now, to appreciate where we are, what we're doing, we and the people we're doing it with. Life is fleeting, and the only time we truly have is the present. So don't wait to start living your fullest life. The time to act is now.